Brian, I'm going to start just so we get this out of the way. There's a story just about certain players, coaches gambling in the
Basketball.
NBA and basketball. Just from MLS, and does that get your antennas up to?
Well, here's the two things I would say on that is we have to sign affidavits and stuff like that. We as coaches and all that sort of stuff. I don't think it goes to the players, but at our level we have to sign affidavits. So I'm aware of, my responsibility. But I just glanced at the headline. I'll dig more into it because it's a big story. But I don't know enough information. Just that when you have a coach and players and betting, it doesn't sound good.
Yeah, fair enough. And then just
Sound
I got more soccer related. Two forwards. What does that give you, and what does that take away, if anything?
Well, the two forwards is, something that we've toyed with, especially against teams that play a back line of five. Provided Minnesota go back to back line of five. I mean, they had success against us in the regular season back line of five, but they've been toying around with a four. We'll just see. We've done a little bit of work with two forwards. It just gives us another forward, but you got to take something from somewhere else, and whether that's in midfield, whether it's a pocket guy, whether it's a defender coming off and Alex inside. I mean, there's multiple ways to take a player off to add a forward. It just depends on the game, how it's flowing. There's lots of different factors.
Hey, Brian. What?
Oh no, well, kind of on that. I mean, how are you working this week just on improving being able to break down teams, though? Because that's one of the things that was hard against Minnesota for you guys.
Well, we had scored 2 goals in the home game. We gave up some bad goals. That's the tailored tape on that one. The 1-0 game there, we didn't score. Our expected goals were good. Our chances were decent. Osaze was in. It was a bit of a mixed lineup. But our overall goal totals and expected goals and all that this year has been better. So as a whole, I think we've, the work we started in preseason and some of the games you've seen this year, we've been okay. It just, playoff games are a little bit tighter, Jada. I'll give you that. And, a lot of the stuff that we'll work on in training is, how do we break teams down when they're in a 5-2-3 or 5-3-2, however he wants to set up. We'll work on that.
Brian, we've seen Alex Roldan kind of being a partial participant. Did he pick up a knock? Is he all right? Where's he at?
No, it's that same hip thing that he got in, I forget the game now, but I yanked him out in NYCFC because of that. He'll be fine. He'll be fine for the game, but it's just a pain tolerance thing, so we're trying to, remove some of the work.
And obviously,
Yamar's good to go.
Yeah,
He's 100%.
obviously this team has gone through a heavy 2025. How's the attitude, the vibe has been throughout this week of training going into a big playoff game there?
Vibe's been really good. We have, we've done a lot of different things this year. We tried different things, new ideas, stuff like that. One of the things I'll tell you, a little bit of a story here, but usually on a match day -1, you want some intensity, but it's the day before the game. And you're trying to measure things a little bit, but the guys, kind of got used to our normal match day -1. So we came up with a tournament. This was Andy's idea, Andy Rose. And we actually had a match day -1 tournament where, he would make the teams and players would get 3 points for a win and no points for a loss. And, we did that the last half of the season, every match day -1. And those guys, you should have seen, our match day -1 intensity just went way up here. And that's kind of sometimes what you need. And so it helped us out of that little mini slump in that week of, poor results. It got us going to now. We actually had the final yesterday at training, to kind of close out the season. And that was one of the most competitive. I have to referee that game. That was one of the most competitive, small-sided 5v5 games. Andrew Thomas was on fire. Osaze was the one that ended up winning, being at the top, but there was like a block of 6 players there. Everybody was into it. So, it was good.
Right,
So,
that's good for the intensity. On the other end, how much do you message just don't make this game bigger than it is? It's huge. It's a big game, but yet let's stick to what we know and not deviate.
That's a
from it.
little easier, Maz, because that's a pretty experienced group. I mean, we've got experience in big games, so that messaging is pretty easy. We understand the importance. We took care of Houston 2 games. Why not? Why can't we go there and win? I mean, we won last year in penalties in Houston. Why can't we go to Minnesota and win a game? I mean, we've been close. I mean, obviously they've had a good season, a great season, but they've got their challenges, from losing a player to Spain and some injuries and trying to refigure things. But they're still a great team. They still true to who they are. They defend with intensity. They're good. They're good on set pieces. It's been their calling card. So it's going to be a great series. But for us, it's we feel we can go there and get a result.
I figure you gotta like your 2 pivots. We were talking about experience, intensity, and them playing in big games.
Yeah. Well, and it was a little bit of a gamble to leave them home from NYCFC. But the gamble worked. We've got 3 points, and those guys were able to get rest, so they look good.
When it comes to set pieces, I mean, it's something that you always talk about control the controllables. You feel like there's a thing that you can't control, but Minnesota's so good that they still, find a way to beat teams with those set pieces. What have you emphasized in terms of maybe long throws and other dead balls?
We've trained against all that, Nico. We've trained against corner kicks, long throws, and all that. But you can control set pieces, and this is what I mean by that. No silly fouls in and around the box. When Andy's doing a clearance exercise with the defenders, just the simple idea of clearing a ball has to go up, out, but how far up the field? Or can you even, in the best case scenarios, when you clear the ball, can you get it up, out, and keep the ball in play so one of your teammates, a center forward or attacking player, has a chance to actually challenge for the ball? So keeping the ball inbounds eliminates a lot of long throws. Fouls, eliminating that part of it, because Perez got a good left foot. I mean, he's very good at it, okay? And then corner kicks, they're going to come, and that's why you train defending corner kicks.
You guys have the players off tomorrow, but playing on a Monday, I know you've played on a Monday before the season, but does that change anything?
It's like Monday Night Soccer. Just like the Seahawks.
Yeah.
Da-da-da, da-da-da.
So there was no nothing.
No.
What you guys
Look,
think?
the schedule that MLS puts out, it's based on a lot of different factors. It's way above my pay grade. We know we're playing Monday, and then Saturday. That's our schedule.
Obviously, we're hearing that Obed Vargas was finalist for
Yeah.
a Young Player of the Year. Your thoughts on
It's a
that?
great honor. I mean, the kid deserves it. I think he's an exceptional talent. I mean, we've watched him grow up from a 15-year-old kid to a 19-year-old young man, and he's got a bright future.
Brian, how has he stayed?
Last a couple guys.
How has he stayed grounded? You talked about it.
That's his family, his dad. Obed's got a great support group, nice family. They come from, humble upbringings. Dad and mom had to sacrifice. Obed understands that.
And then his.
How-
Go ahead, Gina. Go ahead.
Oh, well, how much for this season being able to make it through the way that you guys did is because you've been able to keep Obed and Christian healthy and in the middle through all those games?
That is a good point, Jada. Yes, those have been pretty lockdown starters when I write the lineup out. No injuries, some, missed days because of something in international spots, but we've been pretty consistent in that part of the field. And then what I would add to that is that when you have JP coming back, and Danny Leyva, who's been here all year, that gives us 4 really good pivots. Because remember, earlier in the year, Danny and JP played in some significant minutes, and they were the ones that spelled Obed and Christian at NYCFC. So that position of the field has been very strong for us.
Brian, obviously you got
Last one, Nico.
you concentrated on Minnesota, but I was wondering how closely were you watching that RSL Timbers game from last night?
I wished that RSL had tied it at 2-2 because they might have deserved a second goal. But then, things happen, and credit to Phil. And, Portland, there was the home team, and that's a little bit of an advantage there. So crowd was into it. It's a good game. It was an entertaining game. I did not watch Orlando, Chicago, but I certainly watched the West Coast teams, and it was a good game, but I'd wished RSL would have scored the second goal.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.